Let's talk about Bryce Harper's chances at winning his second Most Valuable Player award. Yo, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to Phillies Sensitive Video, and today we're going to be talking about Bryce Harper's chances of winning his second NL MVP award. Now, guys, before we get into this video, please subscribe if you have not yet. Please hit the notification bell. Please like this video, comment on this video, share this video, and let's get into this. So, Bryce Harper, was announced last night that he won the 2021 NL Hank Aaron Award. So, congratulations to Harp for winning that award. Very well deserved, right? So, the second time in his career that he has won that award, first time since his unbelievable season in 2015, right? We all know how good he was that year. Of course, he did win the NL MVP with the Nats. That best year of his career. This is by far the second best year of his career. It's either going to be Bryce Harper, Juan Soto, or Fernando Tatis Jr. But the two names that I'm really going to, hone in on are Bryce Harper and Juan Soto, because those are the two guys, in my opinion, are like truly in this running, right? Of course, those three guys I just mentioned are all finalists. Fernando Tatis Jr. technically is in this race, right? If you asked anybody in the first week of August who's going to win the NL MVP, the answer most likely was Fernando Tatis Jr. But of course he did have that injury and, move around the diamond a little bit, and his defense took a significant downturn. He's never been a fantastic defender, and his defense really did him in this season. It just was just awful. This is one thing I find very, very interesting, that each MVP finalist from each league was on a team that missed the playoffs. Now, in fairness, the Toronto Blue Jays just barely missed the playoffs with Vladimir Guerrero Jr., right? They barely missed it, right? I mean, came down to the last game of the season, a 90-plus win team. I mean, it was just unfortunate for them, right, that they couldn't make the playoffs, and they were just so close. But as goes, especially for the National League, the Phillies were just not even close to even making it, right? Of course, they did finish, 2 games over 500. The Nationals were way out of it, right? They were not even close, and the Padres, below 500, right? I mean, not like 15 games below 500, but they were below 500. Each team, especially in the National League, wasn't even close to even making the playoffs. So of course, the Phillies were the closest. They did the only team with the winning record, right? I mean, out of those three teams, which is very, very surprising. But anyway, time to talk about some comparisons, right? So the NL MVP, as I said, is either going to go down to Juan Soto or Bryce Harper. And honestly, I think it's neck and neck. I really do. I do give the edge to Harper because of what happened last night. And let me just explain. Usually, the guy that does win the Hank Aaron Award usually wins Most Valuable Player. That's usually how it goes. Now, I'm not going to say it always is how it goes, but usually the guy that wins Hank Aaron Award most likely will win Most Valuable Player as well. So they follow that up with the Most Valuable Player Award. That's usually what happens. But sometimes that doesn't happen. So I'm not. It's not a guarantee that Harper will win MVP after the events that took place last night with him winning the Hank Aaron Award. But it definitely looks more promising that he will win. And especially going into last night, prior to him winning the Hank Aaron Award, I was kind of skeptical, right? I could see it going either way, and I still could see it going either way. After last night, I'm going to give the edge to Harper. Let's say last night didn't happen, right? Let's just say last night didn't happen. It is so down to the wire, right? Because you have these two guys who put up elite numbers. With what Harper lacked in some areas, Soto made up for in others. What Soto lacked in some areas, Harper made up in others. So, two guys that were once teammates at one time, which I find very interesting, right, in 2018. Juan Soto on a team that Bryce Harper, started his career with, and in the first 7 years of his career, he put on that Curly W. So that's very, very interesting. These two guys now, some history. Go take a look at, some of these stats, between the two, right? So batting average goes to Juan Soto, right? He did have the better batting average. Of course, Trey Turner did win the NL batting title, but Soto finished in second. Harper finished in third. On-base percentage, Juan Soto, his on-base numbers were just amazing, right? They led the whole majors in on-base percentage. They 465 OBP, which is 5 points higher than Harper's OBP in 2015 with a 460 OBP. So the slugging percentage does go to Bryce. He led the entire majors in slugging with a 615 slugging percentage. He was great with that, right? I mean, he had a career high in doubles, so that's very interesting. Go take a look at OPS. Also, Harper wins that, right? So Juan Soto just missed the 1,000 mark, which I think it's significant to bring up, right? So he has a 999 OPS, which is very unfortunate for him. Just 1 point shy of 1,000 OPS, so he was just close to getting that 1,000 OPS, but he does miss it. Harper led all the majors with a 1,044 OPS, which is just elite. Elite is an understatement. You go take a look at some of the advanced stats or the fan graphs of the world. You go take a look at F4. It was tied between Bryce Harper and Juan Soto. So that was a drawn tie. You go take a look at WOBA, which is weighted on base percentage. That went to Bryce Harper. You go take a look at WRC Plus, which is weighted runs created. Harper got the edge there. And with home runs, Harper beat out Juan Soto with 35 compared to Soto's 29. Of course, Juan Soto did beat out Bryce Harper in the RBI total. Neither guy got 100 RBIs. So Harper did have a kind of a weird year with the RBIs, right? I mean, he just didn't get a lot of opportunities. That's not all his fault. You go take a look at OPS plus. Bryce Harper, not only did he lead in OPS, but he also led in OPS plus. Go take a look at XBH, which is extra base hits. Harper had more extra base hits, right? Which makes sense. You go take a look at the slugging percentage. Harper with the .615 slugging percentage to beat out Juan Soto. So it makes sense that he did have the better XBA. Those are, a good amount of stats that this gave you, and it's pretty close. You see that right there. You could look at the on-base ability. Now, one thing that I will point out, and it goes for both sides, and one thing that I really want to emphasize here is you go take a look at the OBP. As I said, Juan Soto did have the better OBP with a .465 on base percentage. But you go take a look at Bryce Harper, .429 on base percentage, which was second in the majors. And that's very, very interesting. So even though Soto did beat him in some stats, Harper wasn't very far behind. You go take a look at OPS. Juan Soto was third, as I said, with 999, and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Was second. You could take a look at the NL. Soto would be in second place in the NL in OPS. So Harper was the only player in the National League to have 1,000 plus OPS. Of course, Juan Soto was just 1 point shy of that, which is very unfortunate to him, as I said. So it goes both ways. This is a very, very tight race, and this is very interesting. You go take a look at the AL, and I'm not really here to talk about that. You go take a look at the title of this video, but it's very interesting, though, over there, too. Because you go take a look at, I don't even really consider Marcus Simmons. He's almost like the Fernando Tatis Jr. in this race. Like, he's a finalist, but he won't win. But anyway, you look at, Vladimir Guerrero and Shohei Ohtani, right? I mean, Vladimir Guerrero had a legendary offensive season. He just had a legendary season. And, Shohei Ohtani guy can pitch and hit, like the Babe Ruth type of guy. So it's just going to be so interesting to see how this plays out. I am very, very intrigued by this. I'm just so excited for this. I am just so excited to see who wins. And it will be announced on Thursday, November 18th, which is next week. So we're going to have to wait a little bit, just about a week, right? Today is Wednesday. So in 8 days, we will find out who will win the most valuable player, both for the National League and American League. As I said before, it's a toss-up, especially in the National League. It is just so close. It is just so close. And I do give Harper the edge because of what happened last night with him winning the Aaron Award. That is why I give Harper the edge, and I do see him coming out on top. But I could see people make the argument for Juan Soto. Juan Soto does win this award. I will not be mad at all, right? I'm not going to say, Harper got robbed. I'm not going to say this. I'm not going to say that because, honestly, it is so close. No guy's going to get robbed here. Of course, if Fernando Tatis Jr. wins, any other guy that's not named Bryce Harper, Juan Soto does win this award, I will say that both of the guys were robbed, pretty much. But either guy, man, I mean, this is just so close. I mean, I could have saw Juan Soto win the Hank Aaron Award last night. These guys pretty much had parallel seasons, right? Of course, as I said before at the beginning of this video, Harper lacked in some areas, Soto made up for in others, and vice versa. What Soto lacked in some areas, Harper made up for in others. It's not, cut and dry. You go take a look at some of the, the past MVP races. You have guys in there, thinking like, oh my gosh, they just have no shot. There's one clear guy that just stands out, almost like what has happened in the American League the past, multiple seasons with Mike Trout, right? It's not even really that close. In 2015, right? Remember, Josh Donaldson, Mike Trout. That was a very interesting race, right? Remember, Josh Donaldson did come out on top and beat Mike Trout in that race, but I could have saw that going either way too. Either guy that wins, I think, deserves it. So to answer the question about Bryce Harper's chances, I think his chances are good. I'm not going to say they're very, very good, I think they're just good. I think he has a good chance of winning. I would have said it's going to be 50-50, and I still am kind of just barely about that 50% 80% mark. As I just showed you, and some of the stats that they trailed with each other, they weren't really that far behind. If Juan Soto wins, I won't really be that upset. I'll be disappointed because, Harper's a Phil. I'm rooting for him to win the MVP. I hope he wins the MVP. But if you had to pick my brain right now, it is my decision to decide the most valuable player award. I probably would say Bryce Harper, right? And of course, there's gonna be bias behind that statement. There's gonna be bias, right? He's a Phil. I mean, I'm a Phillies fan, so of course there's gonna be some bias behind that statement. But I truly believe that he did have the best season. I mean, especially with the extra base hits, 35 home runs, and one thing that's very interesting to note as well, in this race, not just between Harper and Soto, which two guys I've been mainly talking about in this video. Something I find very interesting that all three finalists spent time on the injured list this season, and that's also very interesting. Fernando Tatis, of course, did most notable stint on the IL out of these three guys, and Juan Soto, more at the beginning of the season. Soto was first. I think that was around, I'm going to say maybe late April or so, and then Harper was around mid-May or so, late May. And he got off around early June against the Nationals, right? So he got activated when we were playing the Nationals at Citizens Bank Park. Oh, so that's very interesting. All these guys have missed, some time due to injury. I'm not going to say significant time, but they've missed some time due to injury. But one thing I find interesting is Juan Soto has more plate appearances than Bryce Harper. Bryce Harper still managed to collect more extra base hits, of course, more homers. It's just amazing. It's just amazing. I guarantee if he would have been given more opportunities to drive runners in, I think his RBI total would have been way above 100, right? Of course, he had 114 in 2019, which is very interesting to see his RBI total. 84 RBIs this past season. I mean, it's just very low for a guy who had the season that Harper had. As I said before, Juan Soto did not hit the 100 mark as he finished with 95, which is 4 less than Harper had in 2015. So the 2015 Harper by far better than Juan Soto here in 2021. I think that's pretty clear to say. I wouldn't say it's way better, but I do think the 2015 Harper was better, and I still think the 2021 Harper is better than the 2021 Juan Soto. I do think that Bryce Harper will win the NL Most Valuable Player award, but it's very, very close. It is very, very close. Defense also plays a part in this too. Not many people are really talking about this. Juan Soto, if he was in left field, he probably wouldn't even have much shot at winning this award. He'd still be in the talks, but defense is kind of keeping him in these conversations too. I honestly think that he maybe had a better season defensively than Harper did. It's very, very close. He's a much better right fielder than he is a left fielder. Of course, he was spent a lot of time in left field earlier in his career because of having Adam Eaton out in right field. And, in his rookie year, when Harper was still there, of course, Harper got a lot of time in center field. So he's a much better right fielder, and Fernando Tatis Jr. a disaster defensively. We all know that. Also, his numbers are just not as good as these. He had a very, very good season, but it's just not on the Harper and Soto level, and that's why he will most likely not win. Of course, it's not official that he won't win, but I think it's very unlikely that he will win this award. So it's either Harper or Soto. So very close, but as I said before, I do see Bryce Harper winning this award, and that is why. He won the Hank Aaron Award, and that's kind of a sign of what's to come, right? It's not always the case, but usually. And I just think he had the better season. You go take a look at those numbers I just told you. He had the better season. Not by much. Very tight. Guys, that's pretty much it. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Comment down below what you think. There's been a lot of club news we'll talk about on Saturday in the second weekly update. As I've announced on Instagram, Philly Sensitive Media is now available on Spotify, podcast version only. It's also available on Google Podcast. So please go check that out. There's more than one platform you can listen to me on now. Of course, this is the only platform you're going to get me on video. The other two are on audio, as I just mentioned. So guys, since you've been watching this video, please subscribe if you have not yet. Please hit the notification bell. Please like this video, comment on this video, share this video. Check out the social media link in the description section. At Philly's Hot Stove Media, Instagram, TikTok, and Instagram. At P Hot Stove Media on Twitter. Call or text 267-225-3292. Email me, Philly's Hot Stove Media at gmail.com. So Harper MVP. Let's hope he wins. It's very close. Him or Soto. So guys, since you're watching, I'm Luke, and I'll talk to you later. I'll see you guys on Saturday.